Okay,
What's going on, fam? It's your boy Troy, and we're right back with another video of Dreadlock Talk. It's been a minute, but I'm glad to be back. And we got an absolute YouTube legend on the show today, Mr. Not Locs, aka Not Nation. My friend, how are you doing?
Yo, we're doing great. We're alive and we're breathing, which is the most grateful thing for every day.
Sure. Love to hear that. I'm glad to get you on here, so I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no problem. I always want to help out with the Loc community.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot to talk about, but right before we get into it, I told y'all last video I posted, I had some merch on the way. This is a shirt that I made, Imperfect or I'm Perfect. It's the perfect balance between confidence and humility. So those are on the way. I actually just sold a bunch and kind of sold out right now, but DM me on Instagram and I can get an order done for you right there. But
sick.
Yeah, man, let's get into it, bro, because you know, when it comes to your channel, like, it's legendary to me because you're the first video I saw on YouTube talking about Freeform locks. Now, I know you're not the first person to ever make a YouTube video about them, but you're the first one I saw. And when I saw your video on like how to freeform, it just instantly inspired me. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And I never looked back. That was in like July, that was in January 2019. And you know, I never looked back. So like, what made you want to start making YouTube videos about locks, and what led you to that?
It started a long time ago. I was doing videos on interlocks, but to be honest, I found dreadlock videos through Zaylock23.
Legend.
And yeah, definitely a big legend. And during that time, like, this was when YouTube was kind of just starting out, and I loved the platform of YouTube right off the bat when I saw it, because it enabled me to upload my content, which at the time was rollerblading videos and like backyard wrestling and just like stupid shenanigans we were doing around the neighborhood. It gave me an outlet for that, and it wasn't until like maybe 2 years of having that channel going on that I realized that there's people on here that are targeting niches and building communities. And I really liked the idea of building a community, community-driven content. And I've already had locks at the time of like maybe about 3 years. And I started looking up dreadlock videos to see like, oh, who's making videos on this type of content? And then Zaylock popped up right away. I was like, oh, okay, there's a community here, you know, so let's go dreads. It was either dreads or rollerblading for me. And I went with the dreadlock theme at the time.
Word. Okay, so you're not new to the rollerblade either, because I see you post that a lot. Like
yeah,
and that's the rollerblading videos still.
Trust me, the rollerblading videos in general is what got me into filmmaking to begin with. If it wasn't for rollerblading, I would never have gotten onto YouTube to begin with.
That's what's up. And I see that plaque in the back, that silver play button.
Oh, that's visible back there?
Yeah. That's a slight stunt. For those who don't know, that's what, 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and that's a sign of just persistence. Inevitably, you know, I find a lot of people on the platform are able to attain that with like a video or two. Like, I feel like that's complete, like, very lucky if some people actually attain a channel like that. But I realize that, you know, if the luck of your videos are on your side, the persistence will definitely pay through, and you just got to keep on driving your content out to that specific community, and eventually, you know, it will be built and it will be recognized, right?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And it's like the last interview conversation I had on here was with the guys from Free the Roots, and
great company.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're also one of the people that introduced me to them. To their products. And I like talking to people like y'all because, you know, you guys, you form your businesses around building a community. Like your Not Nation Instagram page it's not even you. Like, you have your own Instagram media, but the Not Nation page is just you highlighting other people's hair,
other people's dreads,
other people shine. So it's like, what gave you that mindset, and has it always been like that?
That's a good question. Again, I feel like a lot of my life teachings and lessons have come down to rollerblading so much, because rollerblading was one of the first communities that I was a part of, way before anything online, or way before Dreadlocks. Being able to go out with a crew and just meeting other rollerbladers and just skating the streets, and you really form like a family away from your family doing this, right? So yeah, blading has taught me a lot in life in terms of balance. You want to stay in balance on your skates, you got to balance your life. When you're skateboarding or rollerblading, you're going to be doing a lot of grinding down rails, or you want to stay on your grind in real life. You want to just have like there's certain similarities there. So blading has done a lot for me, and the community around it, I've just always felt like, from listening to Michael Jackson a lot growing up, he always said you got to be a part of something, and just that's where I find. I mean, everyone could have their own meaning on that, but I find that meaning lies in community, because there's so much support out there for people to be had if they're just a part of something. You don't have to be alone in this world. Essentially, there's people out there in that same genre, or that same one specific interest that you have. There's another person out there that will like it, right? So you can always build together that way.
100%. I couldn't agree more, because it's so important to be an individual, but at the same time, as humans, it's our nature to like want to be in a tribe and like have other people with similar interests and values and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
big time.
You definitely tapped in with what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So when
spreading
it comes
unity,
dude, absolutely. And I think that's another reason like people are drawn to your channel, because it's not just you talking about Locs. Like, it's also, they see you have a community there. It's not just saying, hey, look at me, I'm not Locs, look at me. But it's like, yo, look at this person, look at that person. Yeah. Oh, this is a way to do it. This is cool. Here's my Reddit. Like,
And a big part about it is like, it's not, like you said, it's not about me, but it's about the people. And I'm not even necessarily feeling like I'm the best to be showing everybody a certain way, because I feel like I'm just as much a part of the community as you are. I'm out there asking questions myself. I'm encouraging conversations amongst people, because I know that I don't have all the answers that everyone asks me. So I'll direct them to people in the audience listening to answer the question, because all the answers lie within us, not just within my own thoughts, right? So I definitely feel like that's where the community is really strong, in helping each other, really support each other.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when it does come to your content and stuff, what made you want to start reviewing like celebrities' Locs and stuff like that? Because those are the videos that I noticed do the best on your channel, and I love those videos. Like, yeah, I remember looking at like Cam Newton review and Jay-Z and J. Cole and stuff. So like, what made you start doing that?
What was I watching at the time? I was on YouTube a lot, and I had noticed people were reviewing things on YouTube, like ranging from cell phones to computers. And then I saw people doing this thing called screencasting, which I was always taught podcasting since the beginning of my film journey, and I didn't think that it would take off as much as it did this year or last year. Like, everyone started a podcast last year, like 12 years later. But the screencasting was a way of like recording what I'm browsing online and talking about that itself. And it was like, wow, this is such an interesting way of creating content, similar to like how gamers put themselves in the little corner of the screen when they're streaming. I thought it was so fascinating, like the way that they're using technology this way. So I figured, okay, I want to learn how to screencast, but what can I talk about? I already got this Dreadlock channel going, so let's start talking about other people's Locs. Let's start showing people exactly, what they want to see. People are asking me, oh, can you talk about like Cam Newton? I don't even know who Cam Newton is, and I'm learning about these people as I go along, right? So it's great for that reason, because I'm learning at the same time other people are being entertained. So it's a real win-win. Content being driven that way. So I kind of just wanted to show people what they wanted to see, and I wanted to review something because I've always had the skill set of analyzing and doing my research and doing due diligence before I buy a product, or like when I receive a product, I like to test it and see how it is working over time. So I've always had that analytical mindset. So by reviewing other people's Locs, I mean, I'm more like showcasing it and presenting it. I guess I'm kind of a presenter as well. But it's just fun keeping people engaged that way. I feel like it comes back down to community, because it's just it's almost like it was almost like a request show when it started. It was what people were asking me to make content about, and I was just taking a lot of requests, and I've always been a big fan of hip hop as well. So when the idea came, like, oh, let's start looking at celebrities dreadlocks, I went right to the hip hop artists because that's what I grew up looking at first. I mean, and obviously Bob Marley has been a big inspiration on this channel. He is the first dread that I was ever introduced to, record wise and just lifestyle wise. So he played a big part of it as well. And there's actually like a bit of Marley in every single video, kind of like subtly in there. So it's always good to have a piece of his heart around too, because he if it wasn't for Marley, I wouldn't have definitely been here doing this stuff today as well, right? So yeah, big inspiration from Marley as well.
So when you say there's a little piece of him in all your videos, you mean like in spirit and like the way you present it?
Yeah, in spirit, and also like I guess I have a little bit of a sample in my intro.
The intro,
right?
yeah.
The Dreadlock Rasta. There's like the 2 words.
Yeah, from Buffalo Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've never changed it. I've kept that intro because I want to just keep that as kind of like a tribute. To him, right?
So it's funny because my family is West Indian, like they're from the Caribbean and stuff.
Okay.
Like they're huge Bob Marley fans and reggae, but I was never really into it like that. Not that I didn't like it, I just never, did my due diligence. So once I started watching your channel, that's when I really started listening to Bob Marley.
Okay.
And like I remember the first 2 songs I heard was Roots and Naughty Dread.
Right.
Blasting them in my room. But I remember the first time I heard Buffalo Soldier, and I heard that part, I was like, oh, that's the intro right there.
Right? Yeah, it stands out.
Yeah. So when did you first lock your hair? Because you said you had
this is my second set. I had interlocks at first, and that started around 2008. And like even before then, I had braids a lot in my life. I would always go from like shaved head to afro to braids, and then I kept repeating that process. And I'd always liked the look of locks. Just growing up in the 90s, it was very frowned upon. Like there was a few people in my neighborhood that had freeform locks, and there was like the worst stigmas about these people. I didn't know them, so I didn't know for any of it to be true, but it was just like the things you would hear about people with dreadlocks. It had always deterred me from getting them. And it's actually quite funny. Like my hair was really afro. My brother had very like a lot looser hair, so he was able to have his hair fall down, but kind of like like how Ludacris had his hair back in the day. It was like an afro, but it fell down. So he was able to attain that, and I was never able to do it because my hair stood like straight up pretty much. So when I was able to start getting braids and dreads, I was like able to finally have my hair fall down, and I'm like, well, this is the feeling that I've always kind of aspired to have, because I would see it on the reggae albums. These like Bushman Rastas just having their locks falling down. Like, how does their hair get like that? I never understood it, and I didn't really feel like my hair could do that itself. And I mean, as long as it took, it was a mad 20 something years later before I got the confidence to go for it. But I'm happy that it's finally been achieved. And to show other people as well. Hey, look, this is what our hair does when we stop combing it. Just go for it. And then people like yourself, I end up coming into contact with, and you guys have achieved it as well. And it's like just something as simple as me taking a video of myself saying like, you can do this too. And it inspires other people. Like that's kind of like the biggest reward from all this, is just seeing other people getting locks as well, and not having those stigmas around nowadays that I had heard when I was a kid growing up. Those like, they still exist, these stigmas now, but not nearly as much. And they're almost like far-fetched myths now on the internet when you hear things like, one of them I still hear now is like the urine in the dreadlocks to kind of make hair. And I would hear that back in the day, oh, this guy's hair is dreaded because they have to pee on their head to get that. And like, that's a myth that still kind of floats around online about dreads a little bit, but for some reason that's what people talked about back then. And obviously the other ones, like you won't get a job and you never, like the normal ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand that, if some corporations, if they want the clean look, like, all right, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like, but typically people with locks, they don't even necessarily want to work
corporate ladder. Yeah.
Kind of goes hand in hand, but it can be done though, for sure. I mean, I've seen it, but it's crazy. Like what you were saying, like that's the biggest reward. Like it must feel great because, bro, you've had a part in changing my life without even knowing it, because you're the first video I saw that was like, yo, your hair can do this. And I was like, damn, I didn't know that, bro. That's crazy. And then that turned into me committing to that, and then starting a YouTube channel talking about it, and bro, all of that. And now that's helped grow my Instagram and connect with people like yourself and Free the Roots and stuff like that. So, and it's giving me a lot of confidence. So that's what's up, man. And that's what I want to do for other people too. So I know it must feel good to you.
So yeah, it is, like I said, it's definitely rewarding. And you're saying that your locks now have only been two years?
Yeah, like two and a half years around. Yeah.
Crazy. They grow. It looks like they're growing pretty quick.
They are, bro. They are. I have to keep them up because they're always in my face, like right here.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I've separated them a few times. And that leads me into my next question is like, what are your thoughts on like the different names and all that, like Freeform, SemiFree? Because at the end of the day, they're just locks, but like, I want to know what you think about that.
Like, I guess there's tons of names for dreadlocks. Like there's literally way more I can count that with both my hands about the different types of dreadlocks or names for them. So I feel like between Freeform and SemiFreeform specifically, people get lost because if, like, say I put a crochet hook to my hair just once, then they're gonna claim that, oh, that's now a SemiFreeform, and it's like it's hard to really tell because who wants to really fight over that fine line? The way I see it is that the hair that comes out from the roots, if you're not touching this at all and you're letting it grow out, like that's considered freeform. A lot of people that are doing a semi-freeform, I feel like they would crochet hair into the roots and keep things as tidy as possible up there. But I mean, who's to really tell? Who's to be the judge? I don't think the word really matters. The most important word in both of those is freeform. Like as long as you're taking some sort of freeform aspect, I feel like that's the most important thing. If somebody wants to crochet their locks a little bit, like whether they're doing wicks to combine them, like, yeah, maybe you're not freeforming so much because you're now taking away from the integrity of the freeform lock. So it's a tough area to really digress. But when it comes down to it, I just feel like if you're crocheting the roots or not, that determines which one you're doing.
Yeah. Honestly,
what do you feel?
The way I see it is like the important part is that we all have this similar interest and it's bringing us together talking about it. I think that's the most important part. I don't really care about like who's freeform, who's not. Like for me, I was like, when I first started, I was like, all right, freeform means like I can't touch it at all. Like I can just wash it, keep it clean. I'm never gonna separate it. And then it became just like aesthetically and maintenance wise, like washing it was harder to dry. And just to be 100% transparent, I didn't really like the way it looked all the way. Like it was cool, it was unique, but that's just not the look I wanted. Because while I do embrace the part of letting your hair lock, I embrace the part of like spirituality and like just being confident in yourself. But also, I like looking good. I like it to have a certain look to it. I did see celebrities with it, and like Cam Newton and stuff. Like, oh, that's cool. I wanted to have a similar type of look. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It just takes a lot of self-awareness. So you got to know what you want and be okay with that. So nobody else's opinion matters. That's the whole point of it, like locking your hair. It's like, so all the back and forth on YouTube, it doesn't really matter. We're all talking about dreadlocks at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's how
Yeah,
I
and
feel.
that's the main thing, is that it's up to that own person's self will if they want to decide to maintain or not. And the most important thing is, yeah, we all have locks at the end of the day. And you know, whether someone does have interlocks or twisted locks versus someone with freeform locks, I hope people don't look at each other differently and saying like, "Oh, I'm better than you because I have this done or that." Like, I hope that's not what's going on. But you know, I could appreciate if you paid $500 for your hairdo this month, or and it's locked up nicely, and that makes you feel good. That's the best. That's what it comes down to. You feel good about what you're doing to your head, right?
Right. Exactly. That's what matters, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, honestly, I've had like every hairstyle in the book, bro, except for twisted locks. And I live in Florida, so I see a lot of locks. And
Mhm.
I never wanted twisted locks. I never saw that and was like, oh, I want that hairstyle. It was just it never really fit my style really. So,
Okay.
but then when I saw more of a freeform type of look, where it's like an afro underneath and it's like you let it do whatever, and it's like Bob Marley style, then I was like, okay, I just didn't know my hair could do that. And that's crazy to think.
Right,
That,
because
you know,
we don't know it, and we're taught that, like, well, we're taught to keep our head shaved down because it looks neat and presentable, you know. And I feel like there's a lot of let's call it propaganda from media that they don't show that our hair type can be beautiful and acceptable like this, you know. So it's like it's up to us to really make that content and get out there and promote it to people, because the news isn't going to show that this is what we can do with our hair, and we're going to be successful within ourselves by letting our hair grow. We're going to be happy from within if we just don't brush our hair anymore. You know, they're trying to tell us to use all these chemicals and straighteners and keep it short, you know, and tie it back, and don't come to work with your hair locked up. You know, so
yeah,
it's very empowering to be able to do it.
yeah. And that goes right back to talking about like the differences in names and stuff. Like, nah, forget all that. The most important part is that everyone who is posting their hair, they're showing the world that, you know, what it can do,
Mhm.
how beautiful it is. So,
Yeah.
so you you locked your hair what, like 10 years ago? Your second set?
Yeah. So, no, my first set, it was like 2008. I went for about 7 years interlocked. They got mad long, and then I ended up cutting them off. Um, and I went maybe like almost a year, not even, maybe 6 months of getting my hair shaved, just regular number two fade. And then I decided that I wanted to freeform it again, because at this time I was still watching Zaylock's videos since the start, and now he had started his freeform journey probably about 2.5 years strong at this point when I had cut my last set. So I've been seeing how his hair's been forming out over the past couple years, and I'm like, okay, this is like kind of like my chance to really try this. And then I came across this guy's YouTube. I'm pretty sure he's from Florida as well. His name is Chin Miguel. He doesn't make content anymore, but you know, he was a mixed fellow as well, his same type of hair, and he was free forming it. And he was like maybe at the 6 month stage, and I just noticed that his hair was standing up straight all over the place. I was like, damn, that looks so sick. It's like just leaving your hair alone and it stands up with no control. Like, I don't know. He just made it seem like it was so attainable and acceptable. So I mean, I feel like honestly, Florida has made a big impact on my decision and confidence to do my hairstyles like this. And I always remember, even I've only been there once in my life, but it's always stood out to me as such a memorable experience going over there. Uh, and and when I saw like just the amount of Caribbean influence that's over there, uh, it just made me really want to help. I don't know. I definitely wanted to help promote the scene there as well. A lot of people were asking me to do videos on Wix, and actually some videos on legalizing cannabis out there as well. And I've just always been in support of anything that's happening culture wise in Florida. You know, I'm kind of really like watching from the outside over here in Canada. You
Yeah.
know, it looks like a good place to be out there.
Absolutely. What part of Florida were you in?
I was in Fort Lauderdale,
Okay.
right? And we went to Miami for a bit. So it was good. It was a good little trip. Definitely want to make it back out there.
For sure.
know?
I mean, it's sunny year round, bro.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to be in a bad mood when you
Mm-hmm.
you wake up and it's nice and birds are chirping.
And the colors, it's very colorful there.
Yeah, bro, just green everywhere. I'm always in nature, man.
Nice.
What part of Canada are you in?
I'm just outside Toronto, so it's like I'm in like the most southern part of Canada, so we get like a very hot summer, but for some reason we get also a very cold winter as well. We get extremes of all the weather, but it's nice to have seasons though. I'm not hating on the cold. I actually like love the cold. It's actually super hot. It feels like Florida outside right now, and on days like this, I tend to avoid the direct sun and the heat. You know, I want to stay in the shade and conserve my energy, right? So I don't want to be out there too much in the heat, but I like the cold here. In Canada, it's pretty good. I kind of feel like it keeps me younger, having the colder months. You know, it kind of slows down my aging process.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like
cold is powerful, bro. It's good. You know who Wim Hof is?
The Wim Hof, right? Yeah, I'm trying to practice some of that as well. I did my first polar bear dip this year.
Wow.
You know, so like that was a pretty interesting. But yeah, cold water, I love it.
Yeah, lots of anti-aging properties.
Trust me.
Yeah, that's the problem, bro. That's the only complaint I have with Florida is that I don't really get cold water like that.
You can't find cold water anywhere.
I'll try to put it as cold as possible in the shower, and it's just like,
crazy.
Like, yeah, it's not really cold at all.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Good perspective.
Yeah, I mean that's really it, bro. What is it? Do you ever find it to be difficult, like when it comes to washing and drying your hair? Because
like because in the winter, well, I noticed like my scalp condition will change with the air being so dry, cold. Like it gets a lot drier and itchier in the winter, but then it's harder because when I want to wash it in the winter, I can't let it air dry outside, so I have to use the blow dryer. In the summertime right now, though, I can wash in the morning and let it air dry all day, and I'm fine by the time I go to bed because the heat and the sun's going to solve it. But I don't have to wash as much in the summer because there's moisture in the air. My scalp is actually like a lot healthier in the summer for some reason. You know, there's no like drying, there's no dryness to it. So I don't really find too much of an issue, but it just comes down to how long it's going to take me to dry my locks, especially now that they're so long. It's like almost 7 years in.
It's crazy.
Yeah, drying is the hardest part. You know, like washing it is fine because really I'm just washing my scalp, but it's just drying them and the weight of them when they get heavy as well. You know, when they get long. Sorry, the weight of them when they get long.
That's some commitment, bro.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself ever cutting them?
I do, and I feel like every dread kind of goes through that thought once in a while. They think there might be a moment in the day where they just think like, man, I think I'm gonna trim these a bit, or maybe I won't keep these for as long as I intended. Like I give mad kudos to Damian Marley for being able to grow his shit so long without cutting them ever. But I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't be able to do it that long. And I want to get to 10 years with these, and then I'm only 3 years away from that. And it's gonna be tough because I'm ready to trim them now. To be honest, I wouldn't mind taking off a little bit of some weight. Maybe it's just because it's the summer months and it kind of does get a lot hotter around like my neck with them being so lengthy. But I'm definitely gonna do my best to wait till 10 years to trim them. I'm never gonna cut them ever again fully off. Like that's you know, that's solid. Never fully shaved ever again. But to trim these, just so that I could get rid of where the Congo line is. Like I have some of these locks that are braided, but they're Congoed up. So all the new growth is coming in thick. And I would want to cut off like the single ones at the end, just to give it like a trim.
Yeah,
but that might happen next year, but probably not. It's just me in that thought process of wanting to do it. But I'm more committed than those thoughts are of me wanting to chop it off, right?
Yeah. You're in too deep now. It's like
yeah, exactly. I'm in too deep and I'm too close to the goal, so I may as well go for it.
Yo, speaking of Damian Marley, did you see that video of him playing soccer and he put his
Of
Locs
course.
in the backpack?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was crazy.
yeah. He's gotta put it in a backpack to run around
That's,
so he doesn't trip on it.
that's crazy. Bro. I don't think I could do it, honestly.
Yeah, really.
I would have to trim him before that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see that.
So I got a YouTube question for you, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
Like you've been at it for a minute. Do you ever just get tired of it and you're just like, I don't, I got a content block right now, a creative block. Like I don't really feel like doing this anymore. And if so, what helps you to push through?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely had writer's block, I like to call it, content block. Sometimes just unplugging and taking a step back really helps. If you're feeling it, like you want to listen to yourself. You want to listen to what your body's telling you, right? Because I've been in the times when I felt it and I've tried to force through it, and I've been at times where I felt it and I just step back from it. And stepping back, like it's fine to do that at times because you get to clear your mind. You get to come back with some fresh ideas, and what really helps is like stepping back and just diving deeper within yourself, doing some self-reflection, maybe even some self-therapy. You'll come back with some great content of discoveries of that you can share with the world. But like I feel like either way could work. Like if you decide to push through it and just break down the barrier and just keep on creating content, this is more of the grind mode. This is like a very city slicker. Like here in Toronto, everyone is like that. They just want to grind, work. They want to become a millionaire. Everybody's just on the hustle. I mean, it's fine. You can push through writer's block doing that, but a lot of these people end up being burnt out once they get to their goals, or they end up getting to their goals after grinding for so long, but then they get there and there's nobody there with them. They've kind of pushed everyone aside and they're by themselves and they're still not satisfied. So when it comes down to writer's block, just like stepping back and meditating and getting some exercise, some fresh air, a fresh break, coming back with a new set of eyes, like really helps. And even like learning a new skill, coming back with some new skills and showing that, or applying that to your filmmaking or your YouTubing, whatever it is you want to pick up or progress on. Definitely taking a break can help. And if you are pushing through it, I feel like the audience can see it if you're burning yourself out. Like it will end up showing through your work. Yeah. So it's better to just kind of tell your audience what's up, taking a break. They'll respect it, right? And if they don't respect it, I mean, it's the internet. There's always going to be someone that's against your opinions. Then I mean, like, so be it. There's always going to be someone like that, But yeah, writer's block. Like I don't know. Have you found any way to come across and above the writer's block problem?
For me, it's just a matter of, like you said, stepping back, realizing that it's like, yes, you do have this audience that you want to serve and give good content to, but at the same time, you don't want to sell yourself short and kind of put out half-assed content if you don't need to. I'm not at a place where this is like a full-time thing for me and like this is how I eat, but I would like to get to that point where this is a good source of revenue for me. But at the same time, I want to do it the right way, and I don't want to, if I'm not really feeling the content, I don't want to put it out. Because something that I struggle with is, all right, I don't really want to talk about my hair right now. Like, okay, yeah. I've consumed so much of this content for years and put out a lot in the past year. And it's like, all right, I'm just going to fall back. I'm going to give them an update, every month, whatever. But I don't put as much pressure on myself anymore. That's the thing. I can fall back, and I just realize I'm playing the long game, bro. The videos that I do put out, I want to put my effort into them and make good content. It's really
and when it comes down to it, like just make content that you feel good about, because a lot of YouTubers will put their library on the backs of the viewers, and they'll rely on the viewers. Like, oh, what do you guys want to see next, or what do you want me to do this week? And that going along that way, you end up being burnt out because you're always looking for some sort of approval from your audience, but you really just want to be making the content that you want to be producing. You know?
Yeah, because at that point it's like, why are you doing this? You might as well just get a job.
Yeah, it's exactly
taking orders from everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
No? So yeah, that's how I feel about it, bro.
Sure.
So what advice would you give to somebody that wants to get into YouTube, maybe specifically dreadlocks, and they want to start posting their hair, but maybe they don't really feel confident in it yet. They don't feel like their hair is cool enough yet. Because that's something I struggled with at first. I had been wanting to post videos about my locks, but I was like, nobody's gonna care. My hair is really short right now. Who cares? So it was a lot of negative self-talk that held me back. So what would you say to somebody that's dealing with similar problems and they want to post content?
Well, it comes down to really like thickening your skin, just not caring, like almost make the content and just don't look back at it for the first couple times. It's almost like investing. Like the best investors are going to buy a stock and forget about it, and they'll end up making money, right? So think about it the same way with your content. Make the content, upload it. Don't look at it. Don't try and count the views by the hour or see how many comments are coming in. Just come back to it a week later and see what's going on, and you'll just be surprised that, oh shit, there's actually 50 people that watched my video last week. It's better than none. You know, like a lot of videos on YouTube get uploaded and don't get any views. This is an everyday situation for a lot of YouTubers. So like I was thankful for 100 views to come in on a video, or even 100 subscribers on my channel when it started out, because when you think about it, it's like 100 people in a room in real life is a lot of people. That's a lot of people watching a video that you made. It would be impactful in person to have that situation happen. So I don't feel like letting a screen between the viewers and the creator should make that feeling different. So it comes down to just being grateful that you got someone watching your content. You know, every single view is just be grateful for that, and you'll never look at your videos like they were a failure. It was like just by me meeting you, and you got dreadlocks from a video that I made a few years ago. That's just one person. And I feel like, you know, the job was done on that video. You know, and I don't even go back on that video to look at the comments and stuff like that. I probably should go back on it a bit more, but it's you know, it was just approval to hear from you that video got out to you and helped change your life around. You know, and it'll happen. It'll happen. You might not think that it's happening with your content, but you know, the internet's a very powerful place, and you never know what could take off with just one person's click that could really share to a lot of people. So it's always worth it just to put your thoughts out there, put your content out there. And for the new people, my suggestion is start with your phone. The phone is such a powerful tool these days. You can create super successful channels from a cell phone. You know, and you don't even have to use the video. You can just use your audio recorder and talk over images, and you can create a successful channel. You know, so don't think about if you're camera shy. Like, you don't even have to be on the video.
You know? Yeah, there's a lot of faceless channels that are doing a lot of views.
Yeah, it's sick.
And I just want to add to what you said about being grateful for those 100 people that subscribe or see your video. Like, I couldn't agree more, because I think these days a lot of people don't see likes and views and subscribers as actual people. They just see them as a number. But when you think about it as an actual person, it kind of switches your perspective on it. It's like, wow, like this person could be doing anything. They could be watching any channel, and they watched mine, even if it was for 15 seconds. Like, they clicked. Exactly. They spent that time, which is valuable. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's dope.
I don't even. Sorry to cut you off, but I don't even remember how I came into your video. Now that you mentioned it again.
On the Freeform dreadlocks?
Dude, I have no idea how it popped up on my thing. Because I don't remember searching dreadlocks. So.
Well, and that's actually interesting to hear that, because my agenda was to just get people down the rabbit hole. You know, my whole idea was starting out was like always this quantity, and figured that, okay, if I put out enough dreadlock content, it's gonna get suggested to somebody that's looking for this type of content, and then hopefully they get to my next one, and then to my next one. back when I had that idea, my videos were getting recommended a lot more than they do now. So my channel's gone through a hell of a lot over the past 10, 11 years. But pretty much it was getting recommended a lot through the rabbit hole. I noticed that happening. That's when the dread reviews started coming out a lot more. But nowadays, my videos don't really get recommended so much on the side. And I'm not the only channel this has happened to. This has happened to a lot of YouTubers. If you search up like that, since the adpocalypse kind of happened a few years ago, when they started doing limited ads and having to screen for advertising content if your shit is approvable for this advertiser. Ever since that stuff started kind of happening, my channel got hit with that because I had a few things on here that I guess mainstream media doesn't really like me talking about or promoting, because I have a lot of recreational and medicinal cannabis use on my channel. I have a lot of I used to talk about a lot more conspiracy type stuff on my channel, and I had a certain series of videos that was the evolution of dreadlocks. Those videos got hit pretty hard with copyright claims because I showed the evolution of the music videos in the video. So yeah, I think there's a mixture of those kind of put my channel on edge like that, but it hasn't stopped me from making content, because I still know that there's a dedicated bunch of people that, despite if my videos are getting recommended or not, they're still coming back to know that, hey, Not Locs is still uploading every other day or whatever. I'm gonna go see what he's doing. And like, these are the people now that I'm still like producing for, right? Like, I don't care if a million people come to my channel or not. I'm happy with the 100,000 that have been here now. I don't need any more. I'm just happy with who's here and the people that this content is still kind of reaching to. So yeah, how do you do it? With your phone. Nowadays it's with your phone. That's how you get a channel to get to this level nowadays.
Yeah. Hey, he's not lying, y'all. Every video you see from me is on my phone.
It's from your phone.
iPhone 11, that's it. I have yet to invest in a camera. One day, but right now it's just so much easier. Like, I just upload it, airdrop it to my iPad or wherever I want to edit it, even on my phone.
Sure. And the art of the one take is something to like, to take advantage of. Like, get good at doing one take videos. Be comfortable, and even if you mess up, be fine with messing up in your one take, and accept yourself with the fault, and upload those types of videos just so you can stay persistent. Because people like to see that the most on YouTube is that this guy's uploading, and he uploaded just 2 days ago. I can come back in 2 more days and expect another video. People don't like to see like, his last video was 6 months ago. To me, that channel's dead, right? Like, channel's not helping their community out very much. So just like doing one takes, uploading from your phone, so you can be persistent for your community, and have that community mindset, like thinking that this video is here to help out a bunch of people, or maybe it's just me asking a question to a community so other people can help me, right? Like, back and forth. You can be the teacher or the student, right?
Yeah. For example, I did a video on washing my locks with aloe vera, and in the middle of the video, I was just talking, and I was like, hey, yo, could you guys give me some recommendations for reggae music? And I got like hundreds of comments like, yo, listen to this, listen to that. So that's just an example of, you could be the student in your own video.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, it's real talk. Yo, you dropped a lot of gems, bro. A lot. This is something I'm gonna go back and watch, because I'm a student. I'm always gonna be a student of life and a student of other people.
Right.
Even if people are learning from me, I can only get value if I'm getting value from other people. So before we wrap up, man, I want to know your top 3 dreadlock tips. That could be about mindset in the journey, or how to take care of it, whatever. Just top 3 dreadlock tips.
Dreadlock tips. I mean, definitely number 1 is don't brush your hair. If you want to have dreadlocks, just throw away the brush forever. That's a tool that we won't need in life for achieving locks. Number 2, cold water really helps formulate locks a lot quicker, because we all know that hot water and hair relaxes it. Cold water will shrink it and help it form together. So, no brushing, use cold water. And I guess the 3rd tip is just be patient. And like as cliche as those sound, and maybe they're not even tips to some, but like those are the tips to forming dreadlocks. And if we follow the no brushing, the using cold water with our washing, and the third one I said was what?
So be patient.
Yeah, being patient, the most important one. Being patient is like the main thing, because a lot of people, and it's kind of like a weird area, but I'll get messages from people that have just started their hair like a week ago or 2 days ago, and they're like, "How do they look?" And I'm just like, "Well, dude, this is still regular hair. You gotta show me that you've applied the patience part. You know, you might be not brushing it for 2 days, but you're still not finishing the rest of the recipe. You know, so yeah, just being patient, it will do it. And that was the thing. I've always been a very impatient kid growing up, and I've learned to be more patient now through having freeform locks and just kind of taking life a lot slower nowadays. But yeah, that's why I had interlocks, because I was impatient. I wanted them to be instant. You know, you see a lot of things now on Google, on YouTube about instant dreadlocks, and people want that. They just want to wake up tomorrow and have a full head of hair. They don't want to go through the downfalls and the tribulations of trying to figure out how to get there, or building their confidence up to the level where they've accepted themselves to get to that point. They're kind of skipping the process. So yeah, just avoid anything instant, I guess, as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great metaphor for life too, because if you're not enjoying the journey, like you were saying way earlier, it's like, if you're not enjoying that journey of, if you're trying to get rich, whatever your goals are, then it's all for nothing, because you get there and then you're like, oh, like I missed out on all these years of the process.
Yeah, the goal isn't the purpose. It's the destination, and it's the journey along the way to your goals, which is the parts that we're going to remember. Those are the parts that are really going to strengthen us or weaken us. You know, those are the parts that are defining our character, is the journey. So yeah, definitely don't overbear yourself on that journey, and where you're going so fast that you're not really stopping to enjoy the view. You know, being out in nature, you understand that, the importance of stopping and enjoying the view around you, and listening and just breathing the air, and feeling the earth beneath us, right? And like, you know, these are things that I feel like a lot of people in the instant lock world aren't really always taking the time to really think about. Sometimes like there's a different level of consciousness when it comes down to deciding to freeform, I think, that shows further than just our external hair growth. You know, that it's like the roots. It's like these are just the branches, but the roots of the consciousness that's being set out is like going throughout our whole body and like expanding further than our hair. It's just like the trees, right? The roots of a tree expand way further than what we see the branches in the air. You know, and like the roots of our consciousness now are expanding so far where it's helping other people decide, and they want to join this community and make the commitment themselves, right? So I just loved hearing that you spent a lot of time in nature, because I feel like nature really shows us, you know, how to be. It's a perfect example of showing us how to live our life. Everything is in nature if you want to learn anything about life. So yeah, it's definitely very important to appreciate it. You know.
Funny you say that, because I actually have an Instagram post from last year, and the caption is almost exactly what you just said.
Crazy.
Find it. It was like, it says, adapt like the trees. Nature teaches us everything we need to know. You know, I'm just in nature.
Right.
That's it, man. It's the master teacher. It's the master teacher. Man, dropped a lot of gems, man.
For sure.
And I appreciate this convo, bro, for real. Because I think a lot of people are gonna get value from this. I know I did. You know,
definitely
got me wanting to get back on my YouTube grind. You know, because I got a lot of content ideas, and I need to pump them out, man. So,
perfect. Happy to help.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of Dreadlock Talk. We got the legend, Mr. Not Locs, aka Not Nation. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want my new merch, the imperfect shirts, just hit me up in the DMs. My website's dropping soon. But until the next video, it's your boy Troy. I'm out. Peace.